My name is Shelby Taylor, and I post content related to classic and effortless style living and entertaining. To celebrate 10,000 followers on Instagram and nearly 80,000 on TikTok, I decided to do a Q&A. So I asked questions on Instagram and TikTok and compiled a selection of the most asked questions. I just have the questions here on my iPad, and number one is where I buy my button-up shirts, and my absolute favorites are from Cezanne, J. Crew, and With Nothing Underneath. Someone asked, does London feel like home yet? What do you love and not love about living in London? And it does feel like home. It's very easy for me to find my home because I moved a lot growing up. So it's actually just really easy for me to settle wherever I am. I'm just used to it. And my favorite thing about London is how well connected it is to the rest of Europe. It's so easy to travel and there's always something to do. And my least favorite is how tiring everything feels. Even just taking public transport, walking to the stores, and carrying all your shopping home can feel really tiring. And it's also very gray in London. It is very rare in the autumn and winter to get a sunny day. I feel like I haven't seen the sun in 2 weeks, but it's out today, so we are relishing in every second of it. Do I have Apple Music or Spotify? And I have Spotify, and I do curate playlists to share. Some of my favorites are Living in a Nancy Meyers Film, Classics, and Cocktail Bar Jazz. I do pay for Spotify Premium, which is like £18 a month, so that my husband and I can both use it separately on the same account. So I'm not interested at the moment in paying for another music subscription. Which Ina cookbook do I recommend first? This was such a commonly asked question. My favorites, if you are a beginner or just starting out with her cookbooks, are How Easy Is That and Back to Basics. And if you are a more experienced cook or you're just interested in experimenting with some more diverse ingredients and recipes, I would do Cooking in Paris, Cooking for Jeffrey, or Cook Like a Pro. I get so many questions on where these flowers in my vases are from. They are faux poppies. They're called Forever Flowers from Etam, London. What is my favorite book? I feel like I don't have a favorite. My current favorite author is Riley Saker, and I'm loving the thriller mystery series lately. You can follow me on Goodreads to see what I'm reading, and one series that I can read over and over again without ever getting tired is Harry Potter. My favorite stores to shop at, definitely Cezanne, J. Crew, and Williams Sonoma. I'm devastated that we don't have a Williams Sonoma in London, but Crate & Barrel is very similar, and sometimes Crate & Barrel has Williams Sonoma items here. I actually found the Williams Sonoma peppermint bark at my local Crate & Barrel in the winter season. Next, we have what are my degrees in and what is my current job. And my bachelor's is in psychology with a minor in child and family studies. And then my master's is in child and family studies, basically focusing on education. And my minor is in statistics with a certificate in international children, youth, and family. And I spent 7 years at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. Oh, and my current job is school management, so I focus on compliance and health and safety, and then social media, website, and marketing at an independent school in London, and that's a private school if you're from the States. 3 Nancy Meyers inspired wardrobe essentials. Definitely a button-up shirt, a straw tote, and linen drawstring trousers. They are just essential, and they can be built upon in so many ways, so versatile and so classic. Someone asked what to wear in the UK or what to pack if you are traveling to the UK. And first, I definitely recommend bringing more layers than you think you'll need. It is quite chilly, and even a mild temperature can feel a lot colder than it is. In the summer, I'm often wearing jumpers and trench coats, especially in the evenings because it can get very chilly. I recommend comfy walking shoes, even if you are planning on bringing heels or boots, just making sure they have quite a thick heel because a lot of the streets are cobblestone and a stiletto heel is not going to be ideal, especially getting on and off public transport. And lastly, I recommend neutral colors. Of course, you can wear whatever you want, but mainly in London, people are going to be wearing black, navy, shades of tan, or gray, especially just on public transport. And with the weather, it's a lot easier. It keeps your clothes looking a lot cleaner, but it's just not very common to wear very bright colors unless it is a boiling summer day. My upcoming travel plans. So in February, we usually do a trip, and we are looking at the south of France this year. We haven't planned it yet, so I'm not sure it's entirely set in stone, but that's what we're considering. We always drive somewhere in Europe. And then in April, my mom is coming here just on her own, and we're gonna do all the fun girly things. So I might take her for a day or two in Paris. And then in the summer, my family is doing a big trip to Kennebunkport, Maine. And then I think my family is going to finish off on Nantucket or Cape Cod for my 30th birthday. I always get questions on where this tablecloth is from. Unfortunately, it's from a local boutique in Brentwood, Tennessee. If you live in the area, the boutique is called Hot Pink, but similar tablecloths can be found at Williams-Sonoma. And if you're in the UK, I love Mrs. Alice or Summerall and Bishop, and also Etsy. The brand of the tablecloth is April Cornell if you feel like searching their tablecloths separately. A lot of people asked about my goals, whether they were on a 1 year, 5 year, 10 year timeline. I think my first goal is to hit 100,000 on TikTok this year, which I think is really possible because I grew over 30,000 in less than a month, which was just amazing. I'd love to start a family and buy a house. Our flat in London is stunning and so cozy. We love it, but it's just a little bit small for us. So hopefully it can get sold in the next year or two, and then we can buy a house either in the city or the country. I would love to take social media and creating content full time. I do love my current job, but it's just very different than what I truly enjoy. I like the challenge of it, but I think it'll be really fun and freeing and independent to work for myself. So I would love to do that one day. And then I would love to write my own book on my own recipes and hosting and entertaining tips, dinner menu planning, things like that. So many people asked how and why I moved to London. So this is a little bit of a story time. Basically, my husband is English. So that's how I moved here. I'm on a visa married to him, and I met him at the University of Tennessee 10 years ago. We've been together the entire time. And as soon as COVID was kind of fading out, I moved here, we got engaged, and we got married. So I'm basically on a visa married to him. I can work here, and then my next visa will be indefinite leave to remain, which just means that I can live and work here permanently without needing any more visas, and I can also apply for British citizenship. Something I would love to learn to cook, but I am intimidated by, and that is definitely croissants. And I did make those one time, but they were just really dense. I didn't do all the flaky layers as I was meant to. I would love to learn to make sourdough bread, but I'm definitely a cook rather than a baker. I hate measuring, I hate being precise, and I just like to measure with my heart and make it up as I go along. But two things I love to make that other people tend to be intimidated by are soufflés and macarons. My favorite home decor item is definitely coffee table books. They are so effortless and easy to style. I just love putting a vase with some flowers on top, stacking them on a table, putting picture frames on top. If you just have an empty space and you need some depth and dimension, a coffee table book is the way to go. What workouts I do. Lately, I've been doing reformer Pilates. My gym just has it part of our membership. And depending on my mood, I will also do cycling or strength and conditioning. I tend to prefer classes over working out on my own just because I feel like some of the machines can be really intimidating. And if I'm working out on my own, it's never as long or intense as it could be in a class. I usually just don't know what to do. Next is my favorite nail colors. I do the Builder Gel. This is OPI Let's Be Friends. And other favorite colors are Funny Bunny, Lisbon Wants More, and Big Apple Red, all from OPI. My favorite place to travel is Italy, and I also love Paris. Just to me, a city where you can grab a coffee, stroll the streets, pop into shops, look at the gardens is my favorite. And somewhere I really want to go is the south of France. If I'm going to a cocktail bar, what am I ordering? It will either be a gin martini with the Lillet Blanc and a lemon twist, or a glass of Sauvignon Blanc. Similarly, what is my guilty pleasure? And it has to be hotel cocktail bars. I feel like they're so underrated. They're usually not very busy. They have really good quality cocktails, and the atmosphere is just so elegant and luxurious. What is my go-to coffee order? And I'm really boring. It's just black coffee, but annoyingly that means I'm a little bit of a coffee snob just because it has to be really good coffee if I'm drinking it black. I feel like milk can sometimes dull the bitterness or improve the taste of coffee, but I just prefer it black. And I also love an iced matcha, especially the blueberry matcha from Blank Street. What was my first brand collab and my favorite? And I think I have three that come to mind instantly. The first is a company called Hazen & Co. and they did jewelry. They're no longer in business, which is really depressing. They were my very first collab and my absolute favorite. Their jewelry was so stunning. I just loved the content that I created for them. Everything just turned out so perfectly and it was just so easy. And they also designed my wedding day jewelry, which was so much fun and such a memorable piece. Working with Dillard's was also a huge achievement for me because it wasn't very far into my blogging career, and I worked with my local Dillard's to promote the Antonio Milani and Born on Faith collection. And then one other brand that really stands out to me is Petite Keep. They make really stunning keepsake trunks for children, holidays, and weddings. And I posted a video on my wedding trunk from Petite Keep and it went completely viral. What is my ideal day? It's going to be really boring and simple, but I would love to go out for coffee or brunch and then go to a farmer's market, go for a dog walk, come back, get ready, go to a nice dinner, have some drinks at a hotel cocktail bar, and then be home early enough to watch a movie in my pajamas. What is my number one kitchen essential? It would have to be a really good knife. I feel like a good knife can do everything for you and it's the base of making anything and it's just a must-have. And we are going to finish off with what is my favorite kitchen ingredient, and it has to be really good olive oil and really good sea salt as cupboard items, and then lemon and garlic as fresh items. And those are all the questions I'm going to answer for today's Q&A. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you learned a little bit about me. I would love to do this again, so if you have any further questions, just leave them in the comments and be sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram.